Hey guys, today I want to take a break from our regular schedule of not uploading videos to this channel and talk about one of my favorite anime and mangas of all time. And that anime is Attack on Titan. Listen, I've seen a lot of anime, like probably an unhealthy amount. I don't think I've seen another anime that's like subverted my expectations this much. At a glance, this show might seem like any other army of Spider-Mans fighting giant naked people, but honestly, that is barely the tip of the iceberg of what this show has to offer. What if I told you this show offers not only a zombie-like thriller, political drama, fleshy Evangelion, and a philosophical analysis of what the word freedom actually means? Well, if you were anything like me back in 2013, I'm gonna go ahead and say that none of us saw this coming. Also, before moving on, anime/manga spoilers ahead. The story of Attack on Titan takes place in a fictional world where we were told that all of humanity has been wiped out by the Titans, and the only humans that remain are inside these walls. We are then introduced to three children named Armin, Mikasa, and XX Titan Bloodbather XX. Their goal is to reclaim the world beyond the walls. Very quickly, things go to shit, and XX Titan Bloodbather's XX's mom is eaten by a taller version of Leanne Rimes. This tragic event led to XX Titan Blood... Okay, fuck, I actually hate saying this name now. Eren deciding to join the Scout Corps to kill Titan. Eren later gets Titan powers, and we find out that there are other people who can turn into Titans. This first season tries to portray itself as more of a zombie thriller, but like, the zombies are fucking huge and naked, and the survivors are all Spider-Man with swords. Yeah, the show's weird, but like the pacing in this first season was super fast and the action is immense. I mean, afterwards the series decided to slow down in the second season, focusing more on characters outside of the main three. When it aired originally, people were not fans of this drastic change in pacing and action. However, overall, the second season started to shift from an action thriller more to a political drama with action and thriller-like elements. Slowly but surely, the show drip-fed us information. Oh, there are Titan shifters? Oh, there are Titans in the walls? Oh, this blonde girl is royalty? Ooh, Levi has a dad. Levi has a daddy? Oh, Grisha Yeager did some fucked up shit. Oh, the whole premise of the show was a fucking lie? Yeah, you heard me right. The entire world, which we thought was eradicated, actually is perfectly fine. We're just on an island? Yeah, that's a hard one to swallow. Honestly, something that Attack on Titan does really well is make you feel like you're watching this puzzle and you're slowly being given these pieces that culminate to make one large picture. And you know what? This isn't even something that's like unique to Attack on Titan. Like, let's be honest, like shows like Fullmetal Alchemist, they also do this. But it's just the way that Attack on Titan does this is very unique. And it's also like a very slow drip feed versus in shows like, you know, for example, the aforementioned Fullmetal Alchemist, they give us information in these kind of chunks. But with Attack on Titan, almost every single thing they do is a source of information that you can use to kind of decode where the show is going. Now, the second thing that I really love about Attack on Titan is just how realistic and grounded its characters feel. Often in these really amazing anime and manga, such as, you know, Berserk or One Piece or all these other great manga, these characters have all of these large, grand scale problems. And while Attack on Titan has that, typically when it comes down to the individual characters and their problems, I typically lean towards characters that have slightly more realistic issues. So prime example, that's why I really love Uraraka from My Hero, because prime example, her issue is she just has financial problems. And that's something that I find really relatable. In Attack on Titan, every single character has a problem that to some degree can be considered grounded and relatable. Eren has problems with being fenced in. Armin has these dreaming eyes that really move outward. Mikasa is just completely struck with PTSD from the murder of her parents at a young age. Sasha, for example, has such a really hard time moving forward because her family was a bunch of hunters and now they have to be farmers. There's lots of like, it's not a super complex, grandiose, large-scale problem, but it's something that I think is really relatable. And often characters, like even the smallest insignificant characters like Sasha and Connie, really have these really strong connections and very grounded, realistic problems that they have to work through. I think honestly, Sasha in of herself is really underrated, considering she ties in the entire starvation dynamic and scarcity of the entire world. If this character wasn't there, we probably wouldn't be reminded of that. And same thing with Connie, mattering that they're, you know, Connie is a character that really brings towards the world building of Attack on Titan and shows different things and locations and all these different forms of, you know, villages and everything. Of course, while we might think, oh yes, this is, you know, a country that is walled off, we also have to remember that it's still a fucking country and it's still bigger than we assume. The third thing that I really love about Attack on Titan, and I think it is genius, is its sense of world building and logistical elements. You know, there's a lot of shows that have great world building. One Piece is probably the biggest example of great world building, but Attack on Titan really utilizes its ability to tell, you know, land, scale. When we later move on to the manga, we learn about different countries and all of their kinds of things, including trade, just where they live, locations, landscapes. We don't don't exactly get to see all of it, but we do get description. And the other part about Attack on Titan that they really do well is, like I said, logistical elements. In the Attack on Titan anime, whenever there's a commercial break or anything along those lines, where they take a cut, they show this image that will literally describe the mechanics of how something works. One of my favorites is how they show how the cannons function and their mounting system. The other one, they go through the ODM gear, they go through the walls, they go through maps. It's crazy. They have all of this information that is given to us, literally utilizing commercials in a very effective way for world building. I don't know who else does that. Also, not to mention the technology of the Attack on Titan world is pretty realistic. I mean, you know, we have these horses. Okay, cool. We need to get these horses over the wall. How do we do this? Oh, we have a pulley system. You know, that's the kind of part that I would think makes sense. Also, for the fourth thing that I really love about Attack on Titan is that they use historical reference in a really interesting way. Attack on Titan is not afraid to pull from historical elements in a way to show, you know, kind of the human condition. One thing that Attack on Titan really likes to pull from is the Second World War when it comes to things like internment camps and armbands and all this other kinds of stuff. And I think that pulling from real world events in your story writing can help it feel more realistic and grounded. And I think Attack on Titan really needs all of the realistic, grounded things that it has, because otherwise it would be really easy for this show to become ridiculous. I mean, the Titans alone would already break that kind of sense of reality. So the more kind of realistic feeling elements that they have, it kind of suits towards the show. You know, for me personally, I don't really care if something is unrealistic. I care if a show has a logic that they stick. You know, if a show sets a certain rule and then breaks it, that's what I have a problem with. Not if it doesn't fit to reality. With Attack on Titan, literally every single rule the show sets, the show follows. If a character can do something in one instance, it's going to do it. You know, there's a small problem that I have with One Piece, like early One Piece, where, you know, Luffy has these crazy feats of, like, you know, taking down Arlong Park in like one kick, and then afterwards he kind of starts struggling in instances where he should be able just to handle it. In Attack on Titan, if a character can do something and has that strength feat or has been shown to do something, they will do it again, and the show will be certain to know they have that capacity. If Levi can, you know, manhandle the Beast Titan once, he can manhandle the Female Titan. He can manhandle a bunch of dudes. There's endless amount of what I would refer to as consistency amongst the cast. Fifth thing that I really love about Attack on Titan is just how fucking good this show looks. I mean, look at this animation. Look, Levi sliding down this thing. It's okay. Honestly, this show goes balls to the fucking walls with the animation quality, specifically when it comes to not only, you know, the ODM gear, but the fights. Every single Titan that fights actually has a fucking fighting style. I mean, literally, the female Titan is proficient with Muay Thai, and you can see it with every move that she uses. Those are all realistic Muay Thai moves. It pulls from reality and blends it with fiction in such a super interesting way. And I don't really want to get too much into spoilers, even though I said there was going to be spoilers. Also, the other element that I really love is this element of mystery and figuring out who, because early in the beginning of, you know, My Hero Academia, they discussed that there was a traitor amongst the classroom, and then they kind of haven't really talked about it too much since. However, with Attack on Titan, they not only say, okay, we have traitors, like multiple of them, we need to figure it out, and they adamantly go after them. That is their immediate premise. They're like, okay, we're gonna seek this person out. Whenever Attack on Titan does something, their goal is to say, here is something that needs to be done, and then they go and do it. And also, the show is amazingly self-aware. Like, prime example, in the very first season, it is very obvious that Annie is the female Titan. And, you know, in a typical show, you might think, oh yeah, the characters are just gonna, like, figure it out when we do. No, by the time that we learn, or the show tells us that Annie is the female Titan, the characters already know, because we are assumed to have already known this information. Honestly, it's really, okay, I don't want to go on too much about this. But yeah, honestly, Attack on Titan is just a really fucking good show, a really great manga. I would heavily suggest you read it. And also, not to mention that season 4 is just coming out, and trust me, as a guy who's caught up to the manga, season 4 is going to be a fucking doozy of a show, and everyone's going to love it, I swear to God. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening to my ramblings about Attack on Titan. If you really like this video, please feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I've recently been editing for a couple other channels, and I'll keep that playlist on the screen or somewhere. So yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I will see you guys in the next video. Oh, by the way, I'm thinking of doing a Chainsaw Man video. Is that something you guys want to see? Yeah? All right, I'll get into it. All right, later, guys.